So today I'm gonna make another Q&A video. I haven't done one in a while, so I wanted to update some things, some questions that you might have. I asked everyone if you have any questions, leave them on my Instagram. So I'm gonna answer them now. The first question is, hi, is YouTube your full-time job? And the answer is yes. YouTube is my full-time job because it's a job that I do every day. I don't really take any breaks from filming daily vlogs. So I do think it's a full-time job. I do it more than I would if it was a full-time job. So I have enough money to survive and to live daily. But I don't think that YouTube is very stable, especially someone who just started last year making money on YouTube. I will be looking for a job, just not right now, but I'm still like trying to transition. So yeah, I haven't been looking for a job, but I really do want a regular job just so I can have like my regular schedule of like going out and doing things. And I like working. I enjoy working, so I will be looking for a job. I just don't know exactly what I want to do. I really want to work at the convenience store because I do like the convenience store. It's like one of my favorite places in Japan is the convenience store. So I might try to apply at the convenience store, but I don't think I want to do teaching, or I don't want to do personal training because I'm currently not fit and I don't really have interest right now in fitness. I have too much like negative memories from having failed with my business that I kind of am struggling to get back into doing those things. So I probably am going to stay away from personal training or anything related to fitness until I get over this. Living in Japan for 10 years, what advice would you give to foreigners who want to live there? Actually, right now, Japan is really anti-foreigner because of the new prime minister. She really hates foreigners. A lot of rules that have been changed for visas and even like permanent residency. Now you have to live in Japan for 10 years to get permanent residency starting this year. And to get a working visa, you have to be N2, which is almost perfect Japanese. It's really hard for people to pass the written exams, the Japanese proficient exams. Some people are just really bad at testing, and I've met people who speak really, really good, fluent Japanese and can't pass N3. So it really depends on how good you are at testing. It's becoming very apparent that they don't want us here. So I always say like get a lawyer. Every time I've applied for my visa, I've used a lawyer. And you might think like that you don't need a lawyer because lawyers are usually used for complicated cases, but they have the best strategy so you don't get rejected for your visa application. Because when you apply for your visa, their job is to look for a reason to reject you. They try to find imperfections in your application, and a visa lawyer would perfect this, and they know everything about applying for visas. So save a lot of money. I think it's really important to have a good amount of money saved. Don't take shortcuts when it comes to like the important stuff. I think that's just general advice for things in life. So number one, have a savings, enough money to live off of so you can pay all the things that you need to pay, like lawyer fees. Number two, take the test. I think they're making it impossible now for tourists to take I think you have to live in Japan to take it now. I'm not sure exactly. I think you might be able to take it overseas if they have that overseas. You're gonna need Japanese to do anything in Japan. And number three is make as many connections as you can. Like the most important thing I think for life in general is having people, having a community. And you're not going to stay in Japan long term if you don't have friends, you don't have a community, you don't feel integrated. I couldn't really speak Japanese, so I needed help like for basic things like having to call the post office to get a package, or applying for things. Sometimes you need a translator, so it's really good to have a friend who speaks Japanese or who is Japanese. I have a ton of Japanese friends who I don't show on my videos, and it's really important. I don't think I would have gotten this far in life in Japan without my Japanese friends. So yeah, I would say make community, learn Japanese, and save money as much as possible. Those are probably the most important things for people who are planning to move to Japan. And then also don't expect it to go perfectly or smoothly. Life has a lot of complications, so you don't have to be hard on yourself if you feel like you're a failure or you feel like you're not doing well enough. Japan humbles people. So you just have to be like open to failing, and like, yeah, just be flexible, I think, is important. You can't really prepare yourself more than the things like you know that you need to do, because mentally it's just going to change your outlook, because Japan is a lot about accepting things. You kind of can't like change the way things are here. So yeah, and other places around the world. Just curious, because you said you like women. Are you more into femme or masc or both? I'm attracted to people based on their appearance and their personality. It has to be a combination of both things that I like. I don't want to get vulgar. So I don't want to be like, I'm into boobs. I like chubby girls. Yeah, I prefer women who have a more feminine personality. So even the men that I've dated have been very feminine in the way they interact in the relationship. I think I'm leaning more towards feminine women. What is your favorite anime, games, fandom that you've been into? I don't keep up with things, like current things, because I don't have Netflix. I only use YouTube to watch things. So my favorite anime would have to be probably Sailor Moon. I mean, when I was like little, it was Sailor Moon. But I have so many animes that I like. They're just from my childhood, so it's really hard to just pick one. And I think if I rewatched a lot of the animes that I used to like, I think I would find them really problematic now. Especially like animes where there's a lot of school, like the sexualized schoolgirls. I used to watch those types of animes, like schoolgirl animes, when I was little. So I don't think it was a problem. But if I watch it now as an adult, I think it's probably gross. So I can't really watch anime now, actually. It makes me uncomfortable to like consume stuff when I have like a suspicion of like maybe this artist might be exposed for doing something creepy to children or something like that. Games, favorite games. I grew up on games. I wasn't allowed to go outside, and my mom worked at a video store, and they had video games at that store, and I rented all the new ones all the time. Every time they're released, I would always get first pick. I played probably hundreds of games, starting from Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, GameCube. I even had an Xbox at one point. So I played a lot of games. I don't have PlayStation or TV right now, so I can't really play anything. But one of my favorite games is probably Red Dead Redemption. I like story games a lot where they create like a little universe. So I like Cyberpunk. I like, my favorite of all time is probably Fallout. And I like Detroit. I like a lot of like futuristic stuff, but story is really important to me. So yeah, probably Fallout is like the thing that I still keep up with. I watched the first season of Fallout. I played Fallout 3, 4, and New Vegas, and then I played the online one that sucked a lot. What's a hard decision you had to make, and did you regret it or not? I guess getting divorced was a hard decision. It feels like you give up on something, but I think it's really important to know when it's time to let go. I mean, it's not the same thing, but like you're gambling and you put money into gambling, but you keep losing, and then you feel like I can't stop gambling now because I've lost so much money that I have to keep putting in more money. So it was kind of like that situation where I just was like, I've invested so much time and energy into being with this person. I realized like I have to let go because this is not going to change. It's not going to get better. So yeah, I don't regret getting divorced. I think I'm much more happy now than I was when I was married. I don't regret a lot of things, actually. I regret not doing stuff. That's the only time I feel regretful, is when I like stop myself from doing things that I want to do. Next question. Do you think Japan is more accepting of autism than the US? Like, being different is not accepted in Japan. So if the more different you are, the more hard it will be for you to navigate in Japan. But tolerance is a different thing. There's a difference between acceptance and tolerance. I think Japan tolerates a lot of things, but there's no accepting of conditions like autism. Next question. Favorite thing about yourself? Favorite thing about me? I think I'm a really giving person. Like, I give a lot to people that are close to me. Kind of like when you go to your grandma's house and you're like, I like this thing, and she's like, you can have it, you can take it. I kind of am the same way with stuff. Like, if my friend likes something, I will give it to them usually. Or I don't know how to say this, but like when you start doing social media stuff, you meet a lot of people who don't have your best interests at heart. Like, they kind of see you as a stepping stone for something that they want to do. So I've met a lot of people like that, actually, who I felt like used me in some way, or I was kind of like a stepping stone for them. And it sucks, but for my friends that I've made before I started YouTube, I used to give these little gifts of appreciation. Like, I would make little care packages and I write cute little notes and give them to my friends. And it's not just giving like stuff, it's like giving time or making plans. I really enjoy doing those things for people that I care about, and that's why I have the friends that I have. So that's probably something I like about myself. I have a lot of flaws, and there's like a lot of things I don't like about myself, but I think I'm pretty sure, like, if I got a room full of my friends and they were to talk about me, they would probably say like sometimes I can be rude or out of pocket, but I'm pretty much loyal to my friends, and I feel like I'm very giving to them, and I think they would agree with that. So that's probably something I like about myself. Okay, next question. Darling Sylvie, I think the kimonos hold the energy you're feeling, or did the house feel it before? Okay, so I posted on my stories, I feel like my house is haunted now, but this is a feeling I had for a while. I felt that I was being watched when I would walk into a room, and I would like look around and I would feel like there's something behind me, or there's someone in the corner over there. But when my neighbor, I mean, he's not my neighbor anymore, but my neighbor from my previous apartment, he came here to just like look around. He wanted to see, because he watches my videos, so he like wanted to see what my house looked like in real life. And he only was inside for like a minute, and he stepped outside and he was like, this place is creepy and it's haunted. And after he said that, stuff started happening where like I would walk into a room and something would fall over. I started hearing sounds more, and I know it's like normal because it's an old house to have like this creaking sounds, but when I'm sleeping at night, like there's so much sounds. And I think it just got worse as I got more antique stuff in my house. I brought in more stuff, and I think those things do have energy. I don't think it's the kimonos. I think it's the dolls. I did bring in some really old dolls. And also, I brought some really old shoes. They're like these little wooden sandals for a child. And I do think there might be like, at least, I'm thinking some kind of childlike entity here. Because what I heard is in Japan, there are these little childlike ghosts who are supposed to be good luck, and they usually just make sounds at night, like you hear like footsteps or like laughing. I haven't heard laughing, but I don't feel like it's an evil energy. I just feel like there's something. Next question, do you plan on doing more interviews? For now, I don't think I will do more interviews. I think if I start doing interviews again, I probably will make a second channel just for interviews. Next question, maybe this is too personal, but could you imagine living or having a partner again someday? I wouldn't say never, but I don't really care for romance right now. So I don't see it anytime soon. I don't see it in the near future. Maybe someday, but not right now. Next question. I love so much your videos. Any tips about starting vlogging? The only thing I can say is be yourself, and you have to find your niche. You have to find what people like from you, because I like making interview videos, but people don't like to watch them. I personally don't really think vlogs are interesting. I don't think there's anything special about my vlogs. There's nothing like exciting about them. Like, I'm just cleaning and cooking and looking messy, but people want to see that because it's me, and you have to find what makes you unique. So you can't really choose like how you get discovered or why people watch your videos, but once you get that thing, you have to like run with that thing. So I would say just try everything. Try different styles, try to do aesthetic vlogs, try to do personality-based vlogs, try to do travel vlogs. Just try everything until something actually works. I'm the wrong person to ask for advice because I am kind of not that good at what I do. Next question, has any client ever given you a Chanel or luxury handbag as a gift? Yes, I have. I mean, yes and no. I have received Michael Kors merchandise and Coach merchandise, like bags, jewelry, watches. That is like the best stuff that I've gotten as gifts from customers. It's just jewelry or bags. So no, I haven't received any Chanel bags from customers. I received Michael Kors and Coach, which is, I mean, those are good brands too. So it's not like I'm not complaining about it. Next question, what is your favorite niche YouTube watch? I watch a lot of girls, and it kind of makes me sad sometimes because I ask people for recommendations. Like, I ask other women for recommendations, and a lot of the times they just recommend a bunch of dudes to me. I try to expose myself to content made by women for women. I don't really like supporting content that is not targeted towards me, if that makes sense. And I know like a lot of male content creators target everyone, like their audience is everyone, because everyone likes to watch men. But for women content creators, like, it's either their audience is majority men or their audience is majority women, which sucks. I like to watch Ron Mango. I like to watch Bailey Sarian. I watch Naomi John. I watch Sunday Love. Tara, I can't say her name. Tara Moonkey. I'm gonna write her name here, but I can't say her name. And I watch Mina Lay, also D'Angelo Wallace, and some other. I think, yeah, I guess there are some guys that I watch. I watch Philip DeFranco, but that's for the news. I think that's it. So those are like my YouTube watches. Next question, how do you deal with self-consciousness when it comes to body image? I'm a plus size gal. I think whether you're like skinny or you're a bigger girl, people have days where they don't feel confident or they don't feel good about themselves. I don't feel big, and I don't feel small. I just feel like this is my body and this is how I'm supposed to be, because I'm healthy, and like the body has its function, and that is to give you life, to support you, to move, to do things. And I'm able to do all those things. My body's doing a good job to keep me healthy, to keep me warm, to keep me going. I don't compare myself to other people. I think that's where a lot of people start to feel really negative, is they look at other girls and they think, why don't I look like that? Or why can't I be like that? But you have to think, like, everyone is uniquely themselves, and you have to be happy with what you have. Like, it's the only body you have, and one day it's going to be gone. I look back at pictures of myself when I was younger, and I think, I know how I felt back then. When I was that age, I felt hideous. I felt not good enough. And I look back and I think I was perfect. Like, there was nothing wrong with me. I was beautiful, and I still am. I'm different now, but I'm still beautiful. So I try to think of looking at myself from the lens of me as an elderly woman, like how I would feel as an elderly woman looking back at me now. And I would think, like, yeah, I'm perfect the way I am. Like, I don't have any reason to, like, feel bad or to compare or to wish that I was anything else. And that helps me feel better when I have bad days. I think when you're confident, people can feel that, and you are more vibrant, and you just look better when you're confident. So yeah, I don't know how else to answer that, but don't compare yourself to people. Don't compare, especially like images, because a lot of the time it's photoshopped. So nothing is real. AI exists and AI women exist. So just like stay away from social media. It is the next day, and I have more questions because I didn't leave it running long enough. So it's been 24 hours since I asked everyone to leave me questions, and I have more questions. I found more questions that I thought were more interesting. So I'm gonna keep answering a couple more before I end this video. Question, do you want to have kids? I don't know. When I was younger, I really hated the idea of having children, but I think it was more because I just don't want to be pregnant. It's dangerous. You can die during childbirth. I remember in high school when we were learning about anatomy, the teacher, she described it as like when you're pregnant, it's kind of like having a parasite inside your body, sucking up like all of your energy and your nutrition from your body. That's why like you have to take vitamins, and you have to take special nutrients when you're pregnant. So I think that's the thing that made me not want to have children. But I've always pictured eventually, if I was in a financial situation that was stable, I would like to adopt a child. When I was married, my husband did not want kids, and he really didn't like children. Being in that relationship, I thought I'm never gonna have children, and that was okay. Like, I didn't feel the need to have children. I didn't want to have children, so it didn't really bother me at all. I think for some people, their purpose in life is to have children. I think everyone has like their own purpose and their own way of having meaning in their life. People, I think in America now, it's like half and half. Like, people don't want to have children. The most important thing is like having a choice. But I do like kids. I used to work with kids, so I don't have a problem with children. I just don't like the idea of giving birth. Next question, do you think you'll get a pet now that you have a house? So some of these questions are asking me like, will you get a dog? Will you get a cat? Will you get a tarantula? Right now, I don't want to have a pet. I don't feel like I'm ready for the responsibility of taking care of an animal, especially online. Just like hypothetically, if I were to give birth next year, I wouldn't be on YouTube anymore. I wouldn't want my child to be on camera, and I wouldn't want to be open to criticism about my parenting style or what I'm doing. It's not just like the criticism, it's just also finding like an ethical way to have a pet in Japan is kind of hard. There's places you can adopt pets, but they're not really foreigner friendly. I have a friend who adopted a Chihuahua, and he has like behavioral problems. Like, he has like a lot of anxiety. He has to be with her at all times. I can't deal with those things, so I don't think I'm ready to have a pet for those reasons. I don't even want to get into like the ethics of owning animals. Because in Japan, a lot of people have like exotic pets and things that you would think like these are wild animals, they should be out in the wild, they shouldn't be in people's homes. But what's the alternative is that they don't live and that they don't exist. Owning a pet is really expensive if you want to give them like the best life. Like, I feel kind of bad when I see people who get animals and they're not well-off people, so like they're not going to be able to afford to like take their dog to the vet if it gets cancer. They're not going to be able to afford like the surgery to help. I don't have money for like cancer treatment, so I just don't think I can have one responsibly. Okay, next question. Advice on getting better at being alone. I really struggle with loneliness and get panic attacks. When it comes to panic attacks, this is like a physical response your body is having to something that is going on with your nervous system. I think you need therapy to help you with reducing the amount of panic attacks that you have. But going outside helps. Just taking a walk outside during the day, getting sunlight. You don't have to actually talk to anyone. You can just walk outside and see people, or like people watch when you feel alone. Getting dressed up and making yourself feel like pretty and confident, and then going outside by yourself and doing something that you really like. I think it helps feel social. Like when I worked in the service industry, usually customers were elderly people who wanted to socialize with you. So like old people like having conversations with like the checkout people because they don't really have any other way to communicate with people. They usually live alone. Having just the small communication with another human helps greatly to improve your mood. But definitely therapy helps. I think therapy is probably a really good start if you have the money to do that. If you don't have the money to do that, talking with a friend, making a friend, getting a social hobby. I wouldn't recommend being alone. So living alone is not for everyone. I don't think you should force yourself to be alone if you don't want to be alone. I'm alone because I've chosen to be alone. Like, I like living by myself. I enjoy spending time by myself. And I think it has to do with my autism, where I need space. I need to have things in a very specific way for me to feel harmony in my life. I hope you stop having panic attacks and you don't feel lonely. Okay, next question. Do you know your moon and rising sign? My moon sign is Gemini and my rising sign is Capricorn. I think I don't have any zodiac sign that I don't like. I think only when it comes to like romantic relationships, there's a couple of signs that I don't really get along with romantically. Usually a lot of men don't believe in like star signs and zodiac things, but I find that the ones who are the most repelled by it are the people who are most stereotypically like their sign. I don't really see a lot of stereotypical signs when it comes to women. I guess because I tend to like get to know them on a deep level. So I don't really believe in star signs being like facts. I find them more like funny or like quirky things. Yeah, a lot of people hate Geminis. And I remember one time I was with my friends and my friend asked me like, guess my zodiac sign, and I said, I think you're a Gemini, and she got so pissed off. She's like, I fucking hate Geminis. And then she asked me what my moon sign was, and I said I was Gemini. Actually, Chloe's a Gemini, and I really like Chloe. Chloe's like one of my closest friends. I'm a Pisces, so I don't know if Gemini and Pisces traditionally get along. Next question. Do Japanese people treat you differently when they learn that you are not ethnically white, Latina? This is like a weird question. So I'm going to try to say this without offending all the white people who watch me. People are more relieved when they find out that I am Mexican, because America doesn't have like a great image around the world. So I meet people, like international people, even Japanese people, who don't like America. And I feel like once I tell them like I'm Mexican, my family's from Mexico, there's like a sigh of relief. And they say something good about Mexico. Like they'll say like they like the food, or they like the culture, or they like how friendly Latinos are. America has a huge problem with Mexico that I don't want to get into. But people around the world don't really have an issue with Mexico as much as they do with America. So I have never felt like I was treated differently, maybe nicer, when they know that I'm not a quote-unquote real American person. I had like the situation where this African guy, I forgot where he was from. I don't remember what country in Africa he was from, but he told me where he was from and he asked me where I'm from. And he was like super friendly. Like he was asking me for help and I helped him. He told me like, I'm from this place. Where are you from? And as soon as I said America, like the smile on his face disappeared. I like immediately, I felt that he was like sad, like disappointed. But I told him like, I'm Mexican though. And he's like, and his smile came back up. So I don't, I never felt bad for being Mexican in Japan. And I think there is like a little subculture of Japanese people who love Mexican culture, and they actually kind of cosplay Mexican people. So they will dress like Chicanos, and like they'll do the most stereotypical things, like have lowriders and tattoos and dress like cholos. So I think there's an appreciation for Mexican culture in Japan. And I feel like a lot of the negative opinions people have for Mexican people is from America. So I think like I feel like when I was growing up, I wouldn't tell people I was Mexican when I met them, and they would ask me what I was, and then when I would tell them like I'm Mexican, they would start talking about like negative stereotypes, especially when it comes like from other Latinos. Like they would try to test me to see if I was Mexican enough, and if I didn't like know things, or I couldn't like speak the way they thought I should speak because I have an accent when I speak Spanish, they like were making fun of me. I feel much more comfortable being Mexican in Japan. So yeah, if you are a Latino person, Japanese people will be super kind to you, and a lot of Japanese people like Latinas. So and Latinos, I don't really hear much negative things said about us. Next question, what different fashion styles have you worn, and what was your favorite style to wear? I've tried everything. I have tried vintage clothes like 1930s. I've tried 1950 style. I've tried 1960 style. I used to have like an obsession with the 50s and 60s, and that was like my favorite era. I used to have like a lot of vintage shoes and clothes, but I just got rid of all of it. I don't know what happened, but like I just stopped being into it. I've tried cyberpunk, I've tried goth, I've tried visual kei, I've tried gyaru, I've tried scene. I have tried, I think, everything. I had like this little phase where I was like athleisure. I wore like a lot of aloe yoga and just yoga pants everywhere I went. The off-duty model look before. So I've done everything. I like fashion, so I want to try new things. I think the next thing I want to try is like Renaissance fair kind of clothes, or like Victorian looking clothes. I want to really try that style now. Since my hair is black, I think my hair is like basic looking. I can do like more retro pieces or things that are more like period pieces. Okay, next question. Do you believe more on spiritual stuff now, or have you had experienced ghosts before? I don't really know what that means. I believe in God. I used to pray to God all the time. But I have experienced ghosts in the past. We used to live in a haunted apartment because I used to have sleep paralysis. I would sleepwalk a lot. I would talk in my sleep, and sleep paralysis every night, and being afraid to go to sleep. Like I would put the bed sheet over my head. I always had trouble sleeping, and I was always afraid of being there. So I do think that there's like energies that exist, because when you die, there's a soul and it has to go somewhere. So I feel like some people, their energy just stays on objects, or it stays in places. I think people who don't believe in that stuff are they're like missing something, because if you like, there's a lot of things that exist in the world that are not explainable, that we can't see, that we can't touch. So it's kind of the same when people think like aliens don't exist. Like, of course there's gonna be other things out in the universe that exist besides us. I think the same about like energies and ghosts, and I can't explain it. I feel like even it could be like another dimension interacting with us, where we can't see them but they can see us, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I do believe in ghosts. Like people who say ghosts don't exist no matter what. I think I want to take those people and put them in the most haunted place that I can find and just leave them there overnight and see what happens to them. If you could exist in any universe, any show, any fandom, where would you go? I can go anywhere. I wouldn't pick a place because I think it's like the best place to live. I would pick somewhere where I think it would be the most fun to exist. I can tell you what I wouldn't pick. I definitely wouldn't pick Black Mirror because that's scary. I feel like we're living in a Black Mirror episode now. Probably Fallout because I love Fallout. Okay, so I think that's all the questions that I got so far. If you have any more questions that you want to ask me, I can answer them in the comment section below. So let me know if you have any more questions for me. And that's gonna be it for this video. So yeah, I will see you girls later.